the land where Jesus walked 2,000 years ago, India, Tokyo, and other parts of Asia, coming up next on Mission 360. Hello and welcome to Mission 360, coming to you today from Galilee in Israel. And I'm standing on a hillside which is traditionally known as the Mount of Blessing, the Mount of the Beatitudes. Whether this is the exact location or not, who knows, but it's a testimony to those wonderful words of Jesus that we know as the Sermon on the Mount. And on that sermon, he gave 8 blessings, which so many of us know off by heart. And blessed are the poor in spirit, blessed are the merciful. On today's program, we'll be looking at mission around the world that has been inspired because of the life and teachings of Jesus Christ. That's the only reason why the Seventh-day Adventist Church runs a mission program, to share the good news about Jesus. First up, let's travel to Tokyo.
God placed this burden on me. For the last few years, I've been having this burden because, less than 1% are Christian in Japan. It's a big country, lots of people, but for some reason, the everlasting gospel is not being communicated.
Tokyo is the world's largest metropolitan area with almost 40 million people. The challenge of reaching a city of this size might seem impossible, but God can use anyone, even someone on the other side of the world, to spark change. Daniel grew up in California as a third-generation Japanese American. He always told himself he would be open to God's plans for his life. After much prayer, he knew that God wanted him to move across the globe to work in Japan, and Daniel accepted the call to serve in Tokyo.
Even though I grew up in America, my mom and my dad helped me retain the Japanese language. So I was able to communicate and read and write. So I believe that I felt like God was calling me to go to Japan and use the talents for his cause over in Japan.
He was assigned to work alongside the pastor of the Setagaya Adventist Church, where in 2016, there were less than 10 people attending each week. The church was about ready to shut down when Daniel arrived. He knew that God had bigger plans for this congregation, so he began working to make the church a landmark in the community.
Here in Japan, there's a lot of lonely people. They just commit to work or school, and a lot of them are lonely, so they want fellowship. So I think that's what the Japanese people need. We just need to mingle with them.
Mingling is just one of the steps in Christ's method. Jesus mingled with people to get to know their needs and earn their trust. Daniel decided to try to reignite this church's mission spirit with a fresh approach. He invited young people and held evangelism training for them in the church.
We have young people, college age, high school age, young adults, stay in a church for 3 weeks. We eat meals together, we have devotions, worships, Bible studies together, and we train how to knock on doors, how to communicate with people, how to pray with people. And it's been a blessing. And the students really grow a lot. They really have this identity as Seventh-day Adventists and the mission spirit.
This once dwindling church transformed overnight into a youth training center. As the young members reached out to their local community through prayer and face-to-face interaction, attendance quickly grew 5-fold, and word is spreading throughout the community.
When we go out to this community, sometimes we cannot meet the people around this area, but sometimes God sent the people to our church. When the people come to our church, I feel that Jesus is working for this church.
The church is now essentially run by young people with a passion to reach the people of Tokyo for Jesus. And if you ask them why they love this church,
Oh, this church is so special because The young people, they have power and passion and energy to reach out to people.
They are so friendly and kind. I really enjoy spending time here with everyone.
It's great to see how the young people are getting excited about God and the Bible.
In my experience, I have developed a stronger prayer life. I have direct communication with God as I reach out to people. I learned the joy of communicating with God.
Daniel decided to expand the Setagaya Church's programs to include youth from all over Tokyo.
Once a month, we have an event where young people from all over the Tokyo area come and we stay in sleeping bags at the church. 50 to 70 young people come, stay at the church, study the Bible, sing songs, and have fellowship. And it's been a blessing.
This group continues to grow thanks to the efforts of reigniting the church's mission spirit. Setagaya Church members are exploring new ways to break down barriers and show the love of God to the people of Tokyo. Many people in this city are busy and isolated, but still long for connection with others.
When young people get on fire for Jesus, I believe the entire church gets on fire for Jesus. And so that's why working with the young people is such an honor, such a privilege. And I believe when we get the young people on fire, the entire country of Japan will be on fire.
Mission challenges in Japan are real and continue to grow. Please pray for the Setagaya Church members as they ask for God's help in spreading His love throughout the largest city on earth. Your prayers and support of the mission offerings go a long way to encourage mission in Japan and around the world.
My guest is Pastor Wissam, who is the director of the Life and Hope Centre here in Nazareth. Thanks so much for joining us.
No, pleasure.
And we've just actually had the opening celebrations for this centre.
Yes.
How does it feel to have it up and running?
Well, it's a great joy, and we are so happy, and we praise the Lord for this opportunity. Actually, it's one of its kind among the Arabs. And this is the first center that serves the Arabs in Israel.
Wonderful. Now, can you describe for us, we're actually on the roof of the center, where are we located?
We are in downtown Nazareth, in a city of 80,000 people. 75% of them, they are Muslims.
Can you describe some of the activities that you're engaged in?
In Life and Hope Center, we run different programs, some of it English teaching programs, computer programs. We have about 60 kids that they are from Muslim background. Everyone who would like to sign and be part of the program, they have to sign a document. The parents actually have to sign the documents that our center runs. It's a Christian, first of all, Christian center. Seventh-day Adventist, and we teach from the Bible. The other program that we run is health programs with my wife, educational health as well. We have another program is computer, how to use Save Internet and how to use computer in the right way. And the Lord is blessing us. We have a lot of attendance by us.
Yes, now I understand there's a waiting list of parents who want their children to come.
Yes, that's right. Our capacity is now, we cannot have more than 60 kids at once. That's because of the place, the size of the place. Secondly, it's just my wife and myself. We are the only one working for this project, and I have other work. I'm pastoring other 5 churches here in Israel.
Right. Okay. Well, it's a pleasure to meet you because you're the second person I know who lived in Nazareth. The other one was Jesus.
Yeah.
So,
That's right.
so what are the challenges that young people face in this city?
The Arab culture for some time was a closed culture. Now, because of internet and the TV and the access to technology, they became open to new cultures, and they adopted just the bad from the other cultures. and the goods they left it behind.
Right.
And you see the crime start increasing in Nazareth. The moral issues it start like getting like interrupted.
Right.
So we try to achieve, we try to work with the kids to come back to their original, the way how they grow up, their fathers, how they grow up. And we try through the Bible, through teaching them the message of Jesus, how to be peaceful, how to live together, and how to reach their goals in the future.
Wonderful. Can you tell me how are lives being changed, being impacted through this center?
We faced once a challenge with one of the children who's very hyper, and we call it in English very naughty. Yeah, and the parents complained, and they said, we will send him, but we are so worried he will be disturbing the class. But through the way how we dealt with him, through prayers, we were kneeling down praying for this child. The Lord put a kind of peace in his heart. And he started looking at the others, the way how they behave and the way how they sit, the way how they write, the way how they respect the pencils and the papers. He started like learning from them that he is supposed to sit and not be hyper and move all around. And step by step, the child changed totally. And the parents start calling us, asking what happened that our child now became so peaceful. He's not anymore aggressive. And there we explained to the parents that when they signed, we told them that we will be teaching the child from the Bible. And the question of these parents was, does the Bible do this? We told them it's not the Bible, but it's the author of the Bible. It's the one who inspired those that they did write the Bible, does these miracles. And they were amazed. They said, if the Bible will educate our children, then we respect the Bible and the teachers of the Bible.
Wonderful.
And they are speaking about this matter in the school of the child. And since then, we receive calls from many parents. Yeah, please, can we bring our children to you? But again, because of the capacity, we cannot keep the doors open. We are very limited.
So, Pastor Wissam, what are your hopes for the future?
We started with a dream, and the dream became truth through the blessing of the Lord and the help of many divisions around the world and the General Conference. The place is very small. We are praying and hoping that we can build the place or buy the top floor of this building because we need space. We need people that they can come and assist us because the work I'm doing this alone with my wife, and we have other churches to take care of. So we hope that there will be some volunteers that they speak English, for example, that they can teach English. That they will come and help us. We are hoping to build the first church speaking in Arabic in Israel.
Fantastic.
That's our dream and our goal. That's why we are here. That's why we run Life and Hope Center in Nazareth.
Fantastic. Pastor, thank you so
It's
much
pleasure,
for sharing
and thanks
with
for being here by us. Thanks for visiting.
It's an honor.
May
Thank
the
you.
Lord bless you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And viewers, pray for the ministry here, the Life and Hope Center that is bringing life and hope in downtown Nazareth. We'll be back right after this break. Welcome back to Galilee and to the small town of Capernaum. And back in Jesus' time, of course, this was a small fishing village. And for much of Jesus' adult life, he used this as a base for his Galilean ministry. And just over here, we can see the remains of an early synagogue. And of course, it probably wasn't the one where Jesus began his ministry, but it is probably the site of that first synagogue. And of course, Capernaum was the place where Jesus first recruited his disciples. And it's the place where he began to gain his reputation as the wonderful, compassionate healer. And his voice and his actions were seen and heard all around villages around the lake here. Well, next up, let's travel to India to see mission in action.
There are many types of missionaries in the world today. Some are sent by the church, some are volunteers, and some are called by God. Because we know that pastors in churches, they can't do all the work. It's the involvement of the church members who actually bring the work to completion. And so I want to introduce to you today Janish. He's our brother, from here in southeast India. He's from the Trivandrum area of Kerala. And Janish, welcome.
Thank you.
I wanted to ask you, how did you get interested in biblical matters?
Thank you. I was not an Adventist at that time, but some of my friends were, and it was my goal to prove their faith was wrong. So I went to their church with them to debate their Adventist pastor. After an intense discussion, I learned that the pastor's view felt more correct and were clearer to me than the views of my own church. I started to make an attempt to learn more about the truth. Every Friday evening, I attended the Adventist church, and after Vespers, I would sit with my friends to study the Bible. This really helped me.
And how did the Sabbath change your life?
After the study, I went to my church and shared the new truth. But everyone there said that these teachings were unbiblical and wrong. They said that the Sabbath keepers are a cursed people. But as I learned, it became clearer. I confirmed that the Sabbath was true and that the Sabbath worship is the true worship. Then I understood that the Bible never said anything against the Sabbath, but instead supported it.
Mm-hmm. And as you began learning these new truths, you wanted to share them with friends, I imagine. When you did that, when you shared with your village friends, how did they react?
After I studied the Bible with my friends, I went around the village and told them that the Sabbath is the true day of worship. Along with my friends, I distributed Adventist literature in my village. We actually bought the literature and distributed it all for free. After that, we handed out all of the literature, and then we conducted a meeting. Then, with the help of the Adventist pastor, we conducted an even bigger meeting. Our village people have been exposed to the truth before. The meeting did a wonderful work there.
And you faced many, many challenges in many different areas. Threats, the opposition of different members in other denominations. And also, 2 years ago, you were diagnosed with cancer. And I understand the doctor said you had only 6 months to live. But you're still here. Yeah. How does this new challenge, how do you face this new challenge in your life?
After I was baptized into the Seventh-day Adventist Church, my friends and I visited the village and held debates with other denomination pastors. After this incident, I was diagnosed with cancer. All of the pastors and members of my former church said that this was a curse from God for joining the Adventist Church. Unless you return to our church, you will not be healed, they told me. But I was so confident of the truth, I did not bother much. I stood firm in the faith. There were so many people praying for me now. Doctors told me that I would live for only 6 months. But here I am, 2 years after the given time, living by His grace.
Wow. And where did you find encouragement to keep moving forward in growing God's church with so many challenges?
There were so many challenges I had to face. The first was from my own home, so I decided to teach my mother and sister. I taught them both, and to my surprise, they decided to be baptized. I was so glad they became Adventist. After this, I was free to give Bible studies to the villagers.
Brother Janish, I understand that in your community there's also a congregation that's growing. Can you share a little bit about that?
After we conducted the big meetings, about 350 people from the village came to hear the message. This was a new experience for them. At these meetings, 8 people got baptized. Out of the 8, 6 were younger and 2 were elderly people. Now there are about 25 people coming regularly to attend the worship services. There is no church. It's a Bible study center. Every Wednesdays and Fridays we have Bible studies there. Many young people come there and study the Bible. This place is known as the Youngsters' Church in the village. This is because many of the youth here live with lots of bad habits. But they come to this congregation and their lives are changed. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing with us. And viewers at home, we want to encourage you to take part in mission. This is God's work, and the more that you get involved, the sooner Jesus will return. Thank you so much for watching this story. I'm Yarley Simon reporting for Mission 360.
Next up, let's travel to Northern Asia Pacific, which takes in the regions of China, Mongolia, and Korea, with many, many people and a tremendous mission challenge.
With more than 1.5 billion people, the Northern Asia Pacific region faces some of the most difficult mission challenges in the world. It is the most populated territory in the Seventh-day Adventist Church and includes some of the world's largest cities. Metropolises such as Tokyo, Seoul, Shanghai, and Beijing host millions of people who have not been reached by the gospel message. Reaching these vast cities seems daunting, and the work in territories like North Korea is even more difficult to measure. Despite these challenges, Seventh-day Adventist church members are working hard to share the light of Jesus throughout this land. South Korea is a rapidly growing country in the Northern Asia Pacific region. As the population increases, so do the needs of the people. South Korea has embraced the idea of opening urban centers of influence to reach various communities, social classes, and age groups. One church congregation has decided to reach the elderly population in their city. Seniors are a large demographic here, and church members want to show them respect and care. Church members are always looking for new ways to interact with their community. They provide health care and host events such as senior picnics, musical performances, exercise classes, and special meals. One of their biggest projects is repairing houses. They find people whose houses are in need of care and do all the work for free. Through creative forms of outreach, this group has been able to share Jesus with hundreds, if not thousands, of people in their city. Just a few hours outside of Seoul, Sejong is a city soon to be the new center of Korean administration. Many government agencies have moved here, and others plan to relocate here over the next few years. With new construction happening year-round, this city is quickly growing. An Adventist congregation was established in Sejong City about a year ago. Members have been meeting in a space within a commercial building. Over the past 12 months, church membership has more than doubled. Church members know that God is blessing their mission. Shin Young Palm pastored the church for the past year and recently accepted another position in church administration. He has learned a lot about the growing needs and challenges of Sejong City and has shared these insights with the new pastor. The current church's location is difficult for visitors to find. and is not an ideal layout for their needs. Church members in Sejong City want to build a mission center to connect with their neighbors and serve the needs in this area.
In these days, the Korean Adventist church members are getting older and older. But there are so many young people in this city, so we have a big mission to reach the young people of the city.
In that building, we will have many rooms, and we can teach many things to our neighbors. For example, we can teach them English, and we can share them health methods, and we can take care of their children.
Creating a mission center like this is no easy task. Property and construction costs are extremely high. To make this dream a reality, church members have given a lot of money, and every pastor in this conference has donated the equivalent to 1 month's salary to contribute to this mission. They look forward to the day they can use the new building to build bridges with the community.
If we don't have this church in this area, many people would not have any chance to know our church and our God.
To share our truth of the gospel, we need to mingle with the people around us.
I hope that the new building is the center of worship for our Adventist church members. But at the same time, I hope that the building will be a center for people in this city to come and take rest in God. And they will do many things in that building.
Please pray as faithful members work in Sejong City. Pray that God will bless them with the strength and understanding they need to reach this growing urban area. Thank you for supporting Mission.
Well, thanks so much for joining us today on Mission 360, and I hope that you've been inspired by today's program, coming to you from Galilee, Israel. This is where Jesus walked, and it's because of his life, his ministry, his teachings that we have a mission program today. And thank you so much for your participation. It makes the world of difference, and it's so encouraging to global mission pioneers and to church planters and to missionaries to know that there is a world church praying for them. And as a small thank you for your support of Mission, I'd like to send you the Mission 360 magazine. This is the Mission 360 TV program's accompanying magazine, and it's full of stories and pictures just like you see here on the TV program. Well, for Adventist Mission, I'm Gary Krause, and I hope that you can join me next time right here on Mission 360.